Daniel and Clara's story began like something out of a movie. Chance encounter at a local bookstore, a shared laugh over a spilled coffee, and a connection that felt instantaneous. He was a landscape architect. She was a high school art teacher. Their worlds were different, yet they fit together perfectly, so he thought. They dated for 2 years, and every day felt like a new adventure. Daniel loved how Clara's eyes would light up when she talked about her students, how she could find beauty in the most ordinary things. She was his muse, his confidant, his everything. When Daniel proposed on their second anniversary, under a sky full of stars at their favorite hiking spot, Clara's yes was the sweetest sound he'd ever heard. Their wedding was a beautiful, intimate affair, surrounded by close friends and family. They bought a cozy little house with a big backyard, perfect for Daniel to design his dream garden, and for Clara to paint in the afternoon sun. The first 5 years of their marriage were blissful. They traveled, they built a home, they supported each other's careers. Daniel felt like the luckiest man alive. He never once doubted Clara's love or their future together. Their marriage was his safe harbor, the one constant in an ever-changing world. But slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, things started to shift. It started with small things. Clara began working late more often, citing parent-teacher conferences or extracurricular art club meetings. The spontaneous late-night talks they used to cherish became rare. When Daniel would try to bring it up, Clara would brush it off, saying he was being overly sensitive and that she was just tired from work. Daniel tried to be understanding. He knew teaching was demanding. Started taking on more of the household chores, preparing her favorite meals, and leaving little notes in her lunch bag, hoping to ease her stress and reconnect. Then came the changes in her behavior that he couldn't ignore. She became fiercely protective of her phone, which was now always on silent and face down. A few times he saw her quickly close a chat window on her laptop when he entered the room. A cold knot of dread began to form in his stomach, a feeling he tried desperately to push away. This was Clara, his Clara. She would never betray him. He told himself he was just being paranoid, that the stress of his own work was making him imagine things. Didn't want to confront her without solid proof, fearing that a false accusation could shatter the trust they had built. The breaking point came on a seemingly ordinary Tuesday night. Clara had told him she was going out for a girls' night with some colleagues from school. Daniel was happy for her, thinking she needed to unwind. He settled in for a quiet evening, planning to finish a new design for a client. Around 10 p.m., he got a call from a mutual friend, Sarah, who was also a teacher at Clara's school. She asked if Clara was feeling okay because she hadn't shown up for their planned dinner. Daniel's heart sank. He tried to stay calm, telling Sarah there must have been a mix-up and that Clara was probably just at a different restaurant, but Sarah was confused. She said, "What other restaurant? It was just supposed to be the 3 of us." The moment he hung up the phone, the cold dread he had been fighting turned into a raging storm inside him. The lies were suddenly all too clear. He knew he had to know the truth, no matter how painful it might be. He remembered Clara mentioning a new, trendy restaurant that had just opened downtown, a place she had been eager to try. Acting on a gut feeling he couldn't explain, he got in his car and drove. The entire drive, he prayed he was wrong. He prayed he would find the restaurant empty or that he'd find her there with a different group of friends, and there was a simple explanation. As he pulled up to the restaurant, his worst fears were confirmed. Through the large glass window, he saw her. Clara was sitting at a candlelit table, laughing, her hand resting intimately on another man's arm. It wasn't a colleague. It was a man he didn't recognize. The way she looked at him, the same way she used to look at Daniel, was a dagger to his heart. For a moment, he couldn't breathe. The world around him seemed to blur, and the only thing in focus was the scene of betrayal playing out in front of him. Felt a profound sense of shock, as if he had been punched in the gut. He didn't storm in or cause a scene. Numbly, he just turned the car around and drove home. The image burned into his mind. That night was the longest of Daniel's life. He sat in the dark living room, their wedding photos on the mantel mocking him. Every shared memory, every whispered "I love you," now felt like a lie. When Clara finally came home after midnight, humming happily, she froze when she saw him sitting there. A smile vanished from her face. "Daniel, what are you doing sitting in the dark? You scared me." He didn't have to say a word. The look in his eyes told her everything. The truth finally came tumbling out, mixed with tears and hollow excuses. It had been going on for 6 months, with a parent of one of her students. She said she felt neglected and unseen, words that felt like salt in Daniel's open wound. In the days that followed, Daniel felt like a ghost in his own home. The house that was once filled with love and laughter was now heavy with a suffocating silence. He moved into the guest room, unable to sleep in the bed they had shared. He saw a lawyer and began the painful process of divorce. The hardest part wasn't the legalities or the dividing of assets. It was dismantling a life he thought would last forever. He had to pack up photos, gifts, and memories that now brought him nothing but pain. His friends and family rallied around him, but he felt an emptiness that no one could fill. He had lost not only his wife, but also his trust in the very foundation of his world. The healing process was slow and agonizing. Daniel threw himself into his work, creating some of his most beautiful and poignant garden designs, channeling his pain into creativity. He started going to therapy, which helped him process the betrayal and his own feelings of inadequacy. He learned that Clara's infidelity was not a reflection of his worth, but a result of her own choices and insecurities. He began to rediscover himself, reconnecting with old hobbies and friends he had neglected. He started hiking again, finding solace in the quiet strength of nature. It's been 2 years since that night. Daniel has since sold the house and moved into a new apartment with a stunning city view. He is not the same man he was. The naive trust is gone, replaced by a cautious wisdom, but he is not bitter. He's learned to forgive, not for Clara's sake, but for his own, to release the anger that was holding him captive. He is dating again, taking things slowly, learning to trust again, starting with himself. He knows that love is a risk, but he also knows it's a risk worth taking. His story is a painful reminder that nothing is ever truly safe. But it's also a testament to the resilience of the human heart and its incredible capacity to heal and find light even after the darkest of storms. Thanks for watching.